Hello and welcome. Today we are going to explore strategies we can learn from Stoic philosophy to find our inner peace and become more resilient in the face of life's challenges. Life sometimes tests us with various discomforts, stress, anxiety, uncertainty. But the Stoics teach us how to remain calm and maintain emotional balance in the face of these challenges. To live as if nothing bothers you should perhaps be our ultimate goal. But how is this possible? Today, we are going to look at practical ways to increase our mental resilience. Thanks to these methods, we will be able to respond better to the negative situations we face in our daily lives and move forward without losing our inner peace. Remember that true strength is found within ourselves, independent of the outside world. Let's dive deep into this powerful philosophy and explore strategies that can transform your life. How do you react when something bad happens to you? Do you complain, cry, or get angry? Do you let your emotions take over and ruin your day? Or do you stay calm, cool, and controlled and pretend that nothing is bothering you? If you want to learn how to become more resilient, confident, and happy, you need to watch this video to the end. In this video, I will share with you 16 powerful principles of one of the greatest philosophers of all time, Epictetus. Epictetus was a former slave who became the master of Stoicism, a school of philosophy that taught to live according to nature and reason. He taught that the only thing we can control is our own mind, and that we should not allow external events to disturb our peace and happiness. He taught that we should pretend that nothing bothers us, not because we are indifferent or insensitive, but because we are wise and strong. By following these principles, you will learn how to face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal. You will learn to be the master of your own destiny, not the victim of your circumstances. You will learn to be like a tree in the midst of a storm, firmly rooted in the ground and not swayed by the wind. You will learn to pretend that nothing bothers you and to be a priority in your own life. Without further ado, let us turn to Epictetus' 16 Stoic principles. Principle number 1. Always expect the worst. One of the biggest causes of anxiety and its destructive consequences is believing that unfavorable circumstances await us in the future. We are afraid that our children will drop out of school, that we will be fired from our job, that our spouse will confess to us that he or she is having an affair and ask for a divorce, or that something bad will happen to us, like going bankrupt. The problem is that one day we are afraid of one of these problems, and the next day we are afraid of another and another and another. The path of life divides us into good and happy parts, as well as a handful of problems that are inevitable. So we live in a constant state of stress caused by different stimuli every day. This is where Epictetus comes in, because his advice is as harsh as it is effective. He says, imagine that all the things you fear so much have already happened. And what could be worse? This way your soul will develop coping strategies to move forward with your head held high. Principle number 2. Don't limit yourself to one hope. You are a multifaceted being with many passions and talents. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket and risk losing everything if things don't work out. Instead, Epictetus urges you to pursue many dreams and explore different possibilities. In this way, you multiply your opportunities for success and happiness. Principle number 3. Always fulfill your duty. Each of us has a role in society and in the world. Think of the sun. The sun doesn't need to be glorified with praise or incantations to rise every morning. It rises every day, and it is as simple as that. So just as every part of nature fulfills its role, so we have to fulfill our responsibilities. If we wait for praise or requests to do our job, we are failing both the environment to which we belong and ourselves. If we know what our duty is and realize that other people depend on it, it is our moral duty to fulfill it without waiting for anyone to remind us. Principle number 4. Be grateful for what you have. One of the best ways to be happy and content is to be grateful for what you have. Epictetus says that a wise man is he who does not feel sorry for what he does not have, but rejoices in what he has. What he means is that we should not compare ourselves to others or envy what they have. We should not dwell on what we don't have or what we have lost. We should not take for granted what we have or what we have gained. We should be grateful for what we have and appreciate every moment of our life. We should be grateful for our health, family, friends, talents, opportunities, challenges, and lessons. We should be grateful for what we have and not desire what we don't have. Principle number 5. Don't complain, take action. One of the most common habits we have is complaining. We complain about the weather, traffic, politics, the economy, people, situations, and problems. We complain about everything that is wrong and nothing that is right. We complain not about what we can control, but about what we cannot control. But according to Epictetus, this is a useless and harmful habit. He says don't explain your philosophy, embody it. So we should spend our time and energy in action, not in complaining. We should not talk about our philosophy, we should live it. We should not complain about what is wrong, we should do what is right. We shouldn't complain, we should act. Principle number 6. Don't judge, try to understand. One of the most common mistakes we make is judging others. We judge others based on their appearance, behavior, words, actions, and choices. We judge others according to our own standards, our own values, and our own expectations. We judge others without knowing their motives, their circumstances, and their struggles. But according to Epictetus, this is a foolish and arrogant mistake. It is impossible for a person to learn what he thinks he already knows, he says. He means that we should not judge others, but understand them. We should not assume that we know everything, we should admit that we know nothing. We should be open-minded, not closed-minded. We should understand, not judge. Principle number 7. Don't be afraid, face it. One of the most common emotions we feel is fear. We fear the unknown, the uncertain, and the unpredictable. We fear failure, rejection, and loss. We fear pain, suffering, and death, anything that threatens our comfort, safety, and happiness and is beyond our control. But according to Epictetus, this is a paralyzing and limiting emotion. He says that the greater the difficulty, the greater the victory in overcoming it. Master pilots earn their reputation from storms and gusts. He means that we should not be afraid, we should not avoid, we should not run away, we should face. Principle number 8. Don't resist, accept. One of the most common causes of suffering is resistance. We resist what is, what has been, and what will be. We resist reality, fate, and nature. We resist what we cannot change, what we cannot control, and what we cannot avoid. We resist without accepting our limits, our role, and our purpose. But according to Epictetus, this is futile and painful. Epictetus says, don't wish things to be the way you want them to be, wish things to be the way they are, and then you will move on. He means that we should not resist, we should accept. We shouldn't demand things to be the way we want them to be, we should wish things to be the way they are. We should not fight against reality, fate, and nature, but harmonize ourselves with them. We should not resist what we cannot change, control, or avoid, but embrace it. Principle number 9. Don't despair, hope. One of the most common emotions we have is hopelessness. When we face difficulties, challenges, and obstacles, we despair. We despair when we lose something, someone, or ourselves. We despair when we fail, fall, or give up. We despair without seeing opportunities, possibilities, and solutions. But for Epictetus, this is a hopeless and helpless feeling. Difficulties, he says, are what show you what you are. He says we should not despair, we should hope. We should see difficulties as challenges and obstacles as tests, not as threats. We should see loss, failure, and giving up as the beginning, not the end. We should see hope, not despair. We must see the opportunities, possibilities, and solutions that lie ahead. We should hope, not despair. Principle number 10. Use, not waste. One of the most common mistakes we make is wasting. We waste our time, energy, resources, and potential. We waste our lives, our opportunities, our talents, and our gifts. We waste without realizing the value, purpose, and meaning of what we have. But according to Epictetus, this is a foolish and regrettable mistake. No one is free who is not his own master, he says. He means that we should use, not waste. We should not waste our time, energy, resources, and potential, but invest them in what is important and lasting. We should not waste our life, our opportunities, our talents and gifts, but use them to fulfill our destiny, our mission, our calling, and our task. Principle number 11. Guilt is a heavy burden that can drag you down and prevent you from living your best life. It can make you feel worthless, ashamed, and powerless. It can also cause you to blame others or yourself for events that are not your fault or are beyond your control. But guilt is not a natural or inevitable emotion. It is a learned and conditioned response that can be unlearned and replaced with a more positive and productive response. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us this. He said that guilt is a kind of stupidity because it does not help us to improve ourselves or our situation. Instead, it keeps us stuck in the past and robs us of our joy and inner peace. He also said that the wise do not blame others or themselves, they accept what has happened and move on. They don't play the guilt game, but they refuse to participate in it. They choose the hard way of overcoming difficulties, not the easy way of avoiding responsibility. They do not let guilt define them, but redefine themselves with courage, wisdom, and virtue. Principle number 12. Don't give up, persist. One of the most common decisions we make is to give up. We quit when faced with difficulties, challenges, and obstacles. We quit when we lose motivation, confidence, and belief. We quit when we face resistance, opposition, and criticism. We quit when we have given our best and everything. But according to Epictetus, this is a weak and cowardly decision. He puts it this way: no great thing is created as suddenly as a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me you want a fig, I will answer that it must have time. First let it blossom, then let it bear fruit, then let it ripen. What he means is that we should not give up, but we should persist. When we face difficulties, challenges, and obstacles, we should not give up but overcome them with courage, patience, and perseverance. We must not lose our motivation, confidence, and faith, but renew them with passion, self-respect, and trust. We must not be discouraged by resistance, opposition, and criticism, but rather be inspired by it with determination, resilience, and excellence. Principle number 13. Don't regret, learn. One of the most common emotions we feel is regret. We regret what we have done, what we have said, and what we have chosen. We regret what we missed, what we wasted, and what we lost. We regret our past, present, and future. We regret not seeing the lessons, opportunities, and growth we have. But according to Epictetus, this is a useless and harmful emotion. Make the best use of what you can afford and accept the rest as it is. He says that we should not regret, we should take lessons. We should not dwell on what we have done, what we have said, and what we have chosen. We should learn from them and improve ourselves. We should appreciate what we have and make the most of it, not lament what we have missed, what we have wasted, and what we have lost. Principle number 14. Don't worry, trust. One of the most common emotions we feel is worry. We worry about what could happen, what could go wrong, and what could harm us. We worry about our health, our finances, our relationships, and our goals. We worry about everything that is uncertain, unpredictable, and uncontrollable. We worry without trusting in God's wisdom, power, and goodness. But according to Epictetus, this is a stressful and limiting feeling. He says, don't wish things to happen as you wish, but wish things to happen as they happen, and then everything will be good for you. He says we shouldn't worry, we should trust. We shouldn't wish things to happen the way we want them to happen. We should trust that they will happen the way they should happen. We should not be afraid of what might happen, what might go wrong, what might hurt us, but trust that God has a plan and a purpose for us. Principle number 15. Don't be attached, be detached. One of the most common attachments we have is our attachment to things. We cling to our possessions, money, property, and luxuries. We cling to our habits, routines, comforts, and pleasures. We cling to our expectations, plans, goals, and dreams. We cling to things without realizing their impermanence, insignificance, and hindrance. But for Epictetus, this is a greedy and dependent attachment. He says, remember that in life you should behave as if you were at a dinner party. Has something been placed in front of you? Reach out your hand and take your share in moderation. Is he walking past you? Don't stop him. Has he not arrived yet? Do not extend your desire towards it, but wait until it reaches you. He means that we should not cling to things, we should detach from them. We should not cling to our possessions, money, property, and luxuries, but be generous, frugal, simple, and austere. We should not be attached to our habits, routines, comforts, and pleasures, but be flexible, adaptable, disciplined, and moderate. Principle number 16. Embrace, not run away. One of the most common tendencies we have is to run away. We run away from our problems, our difficulties, our challenges, and our responsibilities. From our reality, our truth, ourself, and our life. We run away using distractions, addictions, fantasies, and illusions. We escape without confronting them, resolving them, overcoming them, and realizing them. But according to Epictetus, This is a cowardly and unsatisfying tendency. He says that no one is free who is not his own master. He means that we should embrace, not run away. We should not run away from our problems, challenges, difficulties, and responsibilities. We must face them, deal with them, overcome them, and achieve them. So much for the video, friends. But we must not forget or neglect ourselves. We should appreciate our own talents, our own strengths, and our own potential. We should work on ourselves, improve ourselves, and enjoy ourselves. We should be content with what we have and how we are. We should be proud of our own virtues, our own achievements, and our own happiness. We should love ourselves, respect ourselves, and be happy with ourselves. By doing so, we will not only avoid the negative and destructive feeling of envy, but we will also develop the positive and constructive feeling of admiration. Not only will we avoid the pain of comparison, but we will also experience the joy of appreciation. We will not only be at peace with others, but also with ourselves. We will not only act as if nothing bothers us, but we will also feel as if nothing bothers us. We will become a priority in our own lives and in the lives of others. See you in the next videos. Be a Stoic and stay happy.